welcome to today's live craft and chat. I want to talk about the Charlotte's Dream that I've been working on and some other projects that I'm doing. But the first thing that I want to do is to apologize that today there is no dye stream. Now, it's not a weather issue. The weather is actually perfect for a dye stream. The problem is me. The problem is my asthma is playing up and I don't want to risk being over the dye pots with the dye steam because it's probably not the safest thing for me to do right now. So I'm not dyeing. That's it. That's where we're going. I'm not sure if any of you noticed, but this morning I Instagrammed at crazy o'clock, and that was because my lungs decided they didn't want to work while I was laying down and I had to wake up. Excuse me, sorry. So I got up, and funny story is that I woke up at about 3:45, and sort of just, was just sort of laying there to work out why am I awake at this ridiculous time. At school holidays, I could sleep in, and so I got up and I walked into the kitchen just to check that the time wasn't a lie. And Abby's been crashing on the floor in the lounge room just because it's school holidays and she can. And I was like, okay, well, I'm awake. I'm going to make a cup of tea and see if I can, think what I'm going to do next. And so while I was boiling a cup of tea, I realized that I had yarn. I could turn into mini skeins to get ready to do the next square of the Charlotte's Dream that I'm working on. And so I wound yarn, and I hear this voice from the lounge room going, "Are you kidding me? It's 4 a.m. Why are you winding yarn?" Because apparently the yarn skeiner, when I first started it, because I was just using all my manual stuff to be, stealthy and quiet, it squeaked a little bit and it scared the life out of Abby while she was asleep on the floor. And then, because when she's heard the noise, she's opened her eyes and she saw the Swift spinning around. It just took her a second to realize what was going on. Anyway, so I don't normally get up at that time in the morning, so I'm just going to have to scroll back here and check out the chat. So good morning to everybody. Good morning, good morning. We've got 26 viewers so far as I can see. We've got lots of people asking if we're going to be starting. Jackie's got the day off work, so she is in the chat. We've got extra spanners. So that is awesome. Let me have a look. Lots of people getting in early. That was so good to see everybody who got in early. Kim said everyone, Chat got crowded while she was at the shops. So everyone's talking about their projects. I love that you guys all talk to each other. I think it's fantastic. I really do. I think it's the best. Thank you for my comments on my hair. I'm still loving it. It is beginning to get a smidge lighter, but nothing that I'm like disappointed with. So I'm really, really happy about how that's looking. So I'm really happy with how it's looking. So welcome to everybody: Kim, Sally, Andrea, Jackie, Chris Bragg. Who else have we gotten here? Kirby made it into the live chat. I already said Sally, didn't I? So many people. So welcome to the chat, everybody. Kathleen Champ is reminding everybody to thumbs up. Thank you very much. So there's always yarn when you don't feel good. That's exactly right, Odd But Nice. That's exactly right. There's always yarn when you're not feeling great. Good morning, Black Pearl Knits. Did I freak out when you washed it the first time and the shower turned blue? The hairdresser warned me, right? She was like, okay, so when you have your first shower, it's just going to be insane, okay? So don't panic. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, because I've dyed my hair like for the last 25 years. I know this happens. But I was just not prepared for how much blue came out, and I had to scrub the whole shower down after my shower. So yeah, I was just like, oh my god, and I was sitting there thinking, is my hair going to even still be blue after this much dye's come out? So Tammy Brand is on a day off and she's at Spotlight shopping. So I did end up freaking a little, to answer your question, Kim. Just a little. Tammy reckons she's just looking, so we don't believe her. Welcome to the chat, Shirley McDaniel, new subscriber. I hope that you enjoy it while you are here. It was very intense, Black Pearl Knits. Trust me, it was very intense. So last couple of weeks you've been seeing lots of photos of my cowl in progress that I've been working on. So it is done. I mean, I haven't woven in the ends yet, okay, guys? And I only just realized, like, right this second that I haven't done it because I thought I was, like, 100% done, but I'm not. So I'm going to put it on. So if the, I'm just going to brush over the mic a bit, so be prepared, okay? So I've got it on here, and that's just a single, and it definitely fits double over, but I don't want to mess up my beautiful hairstyle I got going here, guys. Also, it's quite, you know, so it can definitely double a second time. So I'm going to work on getting a little simple instruction out for that. It's not difficult. Really nice simple stitch. It's been lovely to work on. It's so soft, honestly. And I used the 50-gram skein that I had, so 400 meters, one single skein. I think I have maybe 10 meters maximum left. I got to a point where I thought, you know what? There's not another row. There's not another row left in this. I meant to bring it out. It's just, I think it floated off the table onto the floor. So it is done, but I will write down the instructions. I want to make another one because that's how much I love it. I'm going to make another one. My one thing is, and you remember when I cast this on live and we were talking about how I was a bit iffy about the hook size, I would definitely use a larger hook for the cast on row. So I used a 4mm for the whole thing, so I'd probably use a 4.5 for the cast on row, just to give it just that little bit more, because the bottom's got just that bit more stretch to it. So I have to really be conscious of which way I'm going. Kathleen says, great color combo with my hair and shawl and my purple top. Like, everything's working today. I've just noticed the back of my head looks like it doesn't exist in the camera, but I really do have a back of my head. So yeah, it's just a bit dark back there with all the lights. So, you know, all the lights are here. There's nothing really coming from the back. I should work on that. Anyway, so that's what this is. Can we order the new shorties yet? No, we cannot. Although I've got to put a listing up because we can order the T-spins now. I looked yesterday and we still couldn't order the new shorties as yet, Kim. It's so soft and squishy. I love it. I love it too, Andrea. I think it's amazing. The other thing, don't forget live chat, not top chat. That's right. I remembered to do that while the music was playing. I remembered to change mine to live chat. So if you're watching and I'm missing your comment, or you're not seeing what I'm replying to, just double check you've got the drop down option that says live chat, not top chat. Hey Chintamani, welcome to the chat. Kim says, I saw something about them on one of the socials. It must be getting close. It is getting very close, Kim. It is getting very close. That's why I checked, because I saw it on Chow Goo's social saying hit up your yarn store for these. And I was like, I didn't think they were coming out till June. So I had a look. I can't order them. They're not in the order list yet. Jackie says we need more colours in the same yarn base. So you're talking about in this Kid Mohair Silk? Because if you are, you're right. And I'm working on that. That is on the dye list for next week, Andrea. For those that don't know, Andrea in the chat comes over and helps me out with my dyeing, especially with me not, you know, feeling the greatest. I really rely on Andrea a lot to lift and carry and help me keep up, because I can mix the colors and get some going, but she helps me keep up, which I just think is fantastic. Mother's Day is coming, so I may need prezzies. Absolutely, these will be dyed up next week. My next color one, I don't know what I'm going to go. I'm tossing up whether to go something a bit more neutral, like a coffee, or whether or not to go blurple. Because I'm loving the blurple at the moment, but I think something more contrasty to my head would be better for me. But we've got to bring out a few more colors. I don't have a lot of this yarn in stock, but I have enough, especially considering this only takes one single skein to do this big cowl. And it was quite easy. It was, you know, I was talking to someone, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was saying it had been a really long time since I'd had a project that I just felt I could just throw in my bag and pick up and just hook into, no issues, no hassles. And I just really felt like this one has been it for me. You know when you lose your Crojo and you totally don't get it back properly, but you keep going, because that's what I've been doing. I feel like this got my Crojo back for me. I know it sounds bizarre, doesn't it? Something so simple. But I loved working with the yarn. I think it was the yarn that did it for me. And it's not a yarn I would normally use because it's fluffy. I don't normally do fluffy yarns. So yeah, so it is crazy. Is there a service to send projects to have the end sewn in asking for a friend? I don't know, Lindsay, but there should be. If there's not, there should be. For sure. Andrea loves dyeing this yarn, everybody. And Kim's suggesting smoke. Odd but nice thinks mustard would be nice. Lindsay Shadow thinks that for my next one, maybe I should go Slimer. For those who don't know, this is Slimer. It's a very bright green. Does it work with my hair? I don't know. It's very bright. It's very bright. Easy, no pattern referring, pretty and portable. Absolutely, Kim. That's exactly what it was. Loved your squares. What are you using for those? Okay, so I'm moving on. We are moving on officially to the next thing, which is what this was. This was one of my 4 a.m. ball winds, so it's not the neatest ball wind, just because it was 4 a.m. and I was trying to be stealthy and quiet, so I didn't fix it, and I was just using my little handheld ball winder that I've got in the house. It wasn't a good one. So yeah, it's been a thing. That's like watermelon right there. It is. Oh yeah, with the green and the pink, absolutely. Kirby says that her Clover Moors and Chalgu Cirques have been competing for attention. Once I'm done with this Afghan, I need a simple knit blanket project. I've actually never knit a blanket other than a little squarish one that I did for my niece that I actually never gave to her. It's still in the house. I don't know what the go was there. She's too big for it now. She grew. Anyway, the squares that I've been working on, I'm just going to toss up the drop down camera. The squares that I've been working on are from Charlotte's Dream. I've been watching a friend of mine, Joss, who's sometimes in the chat. If she might be listening, but she'd be at work, so she probably can't respond. Hey Claire, welcome to the chat. It's been ages since you made a live. So I've been using the new Pegasus yarn to work on this. This is the Blurple. It's not coming out really very bright. There's just not quite enough light. I might just see if I can pull some more light in. Hang on a second. Bring in some light. Did that work? It may not have worked. Anyway, it might. I'm just going to check, see if it does anything. Joss is here. Hey, Joss. So Joss has been inspiring me. I'm going with inspiring. Taunting's not really what she's been doing, but I've been taunted, but not intentionally, because Joss would never do that, by the amazing work that she's doing, and it is totally beautiful, the Charlotte's Dream that Joss has been working on. So I finally bit the bullet and decided I want to do one. I want to do one so badly. So I'm going to hold it up here so you can see the colours a bit better. Maybe even just bring it up a bit closer. So it's definitely the Blurple yarn. So those of you that had yarn go out with your orders for free, it's this exact same Blurple. So it is coming up a bit bluer, but it's definitely a bluey purple colour. And I'm loving it. I'm not kidding. I am loving it. So yesterday I did the Blurple with, this is the natural undyed colour. It's not a white, it's like a cream. And then because I got hooked, I also did it in the Tiff with the natural and undyed. So I'm going to do them all with the natural undyed. They're all going to have that. I'm going to do each of the main colours. So in the mini skeins that we have, so I'm going to be doing a green one. That's the next. I'll be doing the outer edges. So if any of you have seen the pattern, it gets sort of squared off with these 4 grey corners that look like this one. And so that's all going to be in grizzle grey. And so yeah, so there's like 12 squares. Now because the pattern calls for a sport weight, my squares are coming out just a dash smaller. So the measurement for this square here was, the gauge was 20 centimetres. I'm getting about 17.5-ish, 18. So it's just a smidge smaller. but I have been told by people that know that in the next section after here I can just add a few extra rounds on that, and that'll bring my square up to regulation size. So I'm working out, for those of you that are interested, how many mini skeins of these colors we would need, and how many skeins, because the pattern is in a sport weight yarn, the meterage is totally different. So I'm working it out based on the Pegasus yarn. And for those of you that do or don't know, Pegasus is now available on my website. Segue. Did you see that? Did you see that? So it's available up on the website. So if there's colors that you want, the Grizzle Grey is not up yet. This is me color testing the Grizzle Grey. I'm actually really happy with it. I was a bit not 100% happy with it. I thought it was just a dash dark, but I've actually decided I really like it. So Grizzle Grey will be coming out as one of the regular colors, and yeah, so I'm just working out how many minis. So far this didn't use up a whole mini yet, but I think the section will not only finish off one mini but maybe get a goodly way through the next. So we'll see how it goes. Laurie O, welcome to the chat. I'm just going to have a quick read here, because you guys, while I was, you know, having a swoon over my Charlotte stream, you guys went mental in the chat here. So Sally says she's been admiring Charlotte's stream for ages. It's lovely. Odd But Nice says Blurple looks tonal. I love it. All my colours are tonal. To some degree. I do like a nice semi-solid, I like movement in colour without it being insane, so that those of us that crochet still get to use the pretty colours without it looking odd, to say the least. Where are we? I started Charlotte ages ago. I'm on the same spot as you are on the last 2 squares of 9. Can't force myself to finish my own issue. The pattern is amazing. I love it. I did get a little bit stuck in the written instructions, and I think it was because I was too tired when I was working on it. And I had another just colour in some sunflower that I did just to test it, and these were off. I'd done the petals wrong. I hadn't followed the instructions properly, and then in the written instructions there was a link to a video, and the lady who has done the videos, phenomenal videos. Like, when I grow up, I want to make instruction videos like hers. Like, it is just sweet. It is just exactly what you need to know, where you need to put your hook, pointed, it's clear. I love it. I do not, what is it, in a nutshell crochet or something like that, I can't remember. Someone find, like, yeah, it's in a nutshell. But the links are, if you go to the pattern, if you go to the Ravelry link that Jackie's just thrown up, then you go to the pattern on the pattern's website. You can link to the to where the videos are. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second, but yeah, you can link to where the videos are from there. And that way also, which might sound a little bit weird, this pattern is a free pattern, so I say hit that website as many times as you want, because that particular designer, Dedri Uys, I don't know how to say your last name, please don't kill me. So Dedri, Dedri, see, now I'm killing all the names. Her pattern is free. This pattern, with this amount of work in it, is a free pattern. So she's got some ads on her website, which means that her income comes from those ads. So go and hit her website. Just keep hitting it. Did Esther do the videos? I love her. I don't know what her name is. I'm sorry. It's just In a Nutshell, or Crochet in a Nutshell, or something like that. But yeah, but I'll be definitely posting how much I do, and even I'm waiting just to hear back from the designer to find out if I'm allowed to put a kit together. But if I can't, I will just give you the amounts, because I like to get everyone's permission. I think it's only fair. So if she says no, I'm not going to put a kit together. And I understand, because she's got like the I'm going to try and say it ready. The sheepies, I don't know. The scarepies packs are already going out, so I think that she might have a deal. So I don't want to tread on any toes. Where are we? I'm going back a little bit. You should dye up 12 different gradients so you can do the Sophie's Dream. I don't want to, like, no, Sophie's Dream literally uses gradients. I'm not going to do 12 different... Kim, you're a troublemaker. Stop that. The grey makes them look like gems. Yeah, it does. It looks a little bit steelish, doesn't it? A little bit grizzly and steel, which is why I call it grizzle grey. It's definitely got like a steel tone to it. These cameras don't do the best justice for the colours. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to look into that. I don't know if it's because of... Because see, the thing is, when I look at it on my screen when I'm setting it up, it's schmick. It's so perfect. The colours are on point. But I think because I have to ramp everything down so much so you guys get a decent stream speed and quality-wise is pretty good, I think it messes with the colour a little, which bugs me. Anyway, keep scrolling, Chantel. Kim says a friend was doing it with 8-ply cottons, working up to be slightly bigger than the top of a double bed. Oh, that's nice. Chintamani's reminding people not to forget to thumbs up. Thank you, Chintamani. It's all in a nutshell. Ah, thank you, Lindsay. It's all in a nutshell. The pink yarn I bought the other day to finish my table runner is all wrong. Oh no. Rebecca Nelson says, oh, it's a blanket throw sort of thing. So you make 12 of these squares, so they get you know to be 12 squares sort of thing like that. Then you put on this extra edge, which I don't know how big it is, so I've got to measure it. And then you have an extra edge, and then it goes on from there. But you should hit the link so you can have a look. But so many people have made it so many different ways. Like I've seen ones where the centerpieces are a different color, like totally different color, and they all match, and I think that's pretty cool as well. But I wanted to make this as simple as possible with not too many colors, even though it's definitely going to be 12 colors at least because there's 12 squares minimum. But yeah, I'm really loving it. So as you can tell, But Nice says if these cameras don't give the color justice, then your colors are phenomenal. I'm biased, Odd But Nice, but I think they are. My colours are phenomenal, let me tell you that. No, I like, especially the blurple, I worked really hard to make it a similar colour to my logo. So, and I don't know, I'm funny with colour, and so I'm funny when the cameras don't get it right. And it's really, this colour TIFF, nightmare, absolute nightmare to get a good photo of without it going a weirdy kind of colour. Oh, we're slowing down a little bit, guys, sorry about that. I'll try not to move things around too much. I think the cameras are trying too hard. But yeah, so we've got this, which I'm just loving. So I'm sorry about that. Kim says, did you see my knitted blanket? It's finally finished. 93,525 stitches. That's insane. Jackie has also popped all the links over in the fun zone. It's only Abby has jumped into the live chat. Hey, Abby. Well, her hair is real blurple. No, Abby's on different internet. So Abby's on the home internet in the house, and I'm on the internet out here. So unless Abby's creeping around trying to hook onto my internet, which I cannot tell. So if you are Abby, don't be creeping around out here hooking onto my internet. It's the exact color of your hair, the blurple. The Tiffany looks like it'd be delicate. Yeah, the Tiffany. Oh, the TIFF is, I don't know, it's hard to describe the TIFF. I love it. It's just a really pretty, subtle blue with some nice, again, semi-solid, so there's some movement in it. Not too semi-solid, but a bit. So, yeah, that's what I try for, you guys. That's what I try for. Bobby Pearson, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, you guys. So, I'm doing this one for me in the Pegasus yarn. Believe it or not, I've started crocheting and I haven't actually picked all 12 of my colors yet. So I got the first 3, bam, that's them. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to go with next. Thinking, probably, what have I got up there? That's no. I'm thinking probably Joss for sure, because Joss needs to be in there because she was my inspiration for this as well as that color. Definitely the buttercup yellow, not buttercup, my brain cannot, dandelion, so dandelion yellow for sure. And hang on a second. I'm going to go and grab some minis, and you can help me. So the minis are just over there. So you guys can stare at these, and I will go and get the minis. Missing a colour. Hang on. I've got a dig. Okay. Did you miss me? Can you tell me where my bamboo needles are? No, I cannot. Where are we? Hey, Nature's Crafts. Yeah, so I definitely need the yellows and the pinks. I don't think I'm going to go with the mist because I think it's going to end up too subtle between the grey and the undyed. I don't think there's going to be enough contrast. And I sort of feel the same way about the flat white. So I don't think these two are going to be in. I don't think there's enough tonal, like I try to take photos of things in black and white and then double check I've got 3 different shades of grey. And I think with all of these I get pretty similar tones. So I'm thinking these two are going to be out. But you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm thinking this one would probably work. So with the cream, the coffee and the grey, there's a lake. Now we've also got, I can't decide between going with Wildwoods or Milo. I'm thinking I'd probably lean towards more the Wildwoods. So just as another deep colour to go with the blurple because everything else is a bit softer. So where are we? Do you have a darker green? I don't, but I can absolutely make one because I do make a darker green. So like I've got this darker green, which is a different yarn, but I can dye some in the similar yarn. So this is our Mystery Lace Club yarn from our, what do I call this, County Kerry. So that does not look green in that camera at all. It's definitely green. So yeah, it's definitely a green. You guys have seen that. That looks way teal. It looks nearly like lake on that camera. But yeah, definitely green. So we could go with something like that as well. I'll keep that here just to remind me. But yeah, we've got some really pretty colours that we can go with. So we've got some nice soft sort of brighty colours and some darker colours to sort of tamp it down a little. Wildwood, yeah, definitely Wildwood. Yeah, those two would be too neutral. I agree, Odd But Nice. Milo and Wildwood look great together. They do look great together, don't they? I really like them. I think they're really nice. Yeah, definitely like them. Hey Bub Karen. Coffee and Wildwood. Coffee and Wildwood, that's them together. Yeah, definitely need some green. What's the aqua blue one? Which is the aqua blue one? This one here that we've already done. This is Tiff. Is that the one we're talking about? Or are you talking about Lake, which is not quite aqua blue, but the camera's destroying it. It's more of a greeny colour, greeny blue colour. Like if you put it next to a blue, it's totally different. And even the other camera, these are doing no good. You guys need to check the colours. You guys need to check the colours on the website because I've been able to colour correct most of those really well. Nature Craft is actually knitting, yeah, just a tint darker though. Hang on a second. Good morning, Kim Nelson. So yeah, so I've got some selections, and I've got some other colors. So how many is that? So it's 1, 2, and 3, which we've definitely got. 4, 5, and 6, definitely. 7, 8, and 9, definitely. Probably a green like this, and then we need 2 more colors. So a green similar to this, but maybe a shade darker, someone's saying, sort of, because that's them together, to put them in perspective. Oh, I should put my microphone back on. Put it back on so you do not do the damages to it. But yeah, we've got some cool colors happening. We've got some good choices. I've got some more colors. Like I've got a really, thyme green. So if you go into the, I don't have any, oh, I do. Hang on. I've got a little skein just there up here. Hang on. I've also got these colors, which I can replicate, which are, I mean, I haven't tested them out. I haven't tested them out on the new base. These are sunflower, but maybe we could go this kind of green. And maybe a red. And then we've also got like a proper sort of sky blue rather than the tiff blue or the lake. Or are they 3 too similar? It's hard to tell. But if you look on the website, these look nothing alike. They're not even remotely similar. So, cameras are killing me. Cameras are killing me. I'm going to move on from worrying too much about making the blues look like blue. Because we've got these cool colors. These are all the colors that I had for, that I was using for the Avengers pack, the Infinity Stones pack. So there's a nice orange, there's a blue, there's a really bright yellow. So lots of colors here. So in comparison, these are the 2 yellows. So this is that Soulstone's orange. I can't remember, my brain hurts. But anyway, these 2 yellows are totally different. So I think I would more likely go with this softer yellow. But we've got some pretty colors to work with. So for sure, for sure. There's also another purple that we've got that I do in these colors. It's a bit more violetish. That's why it's called violetish. Kirby likes the blues. Kimberly likes the red. The brighter green and the red are great. Yeah, like I think you're right. I think this green needs to be in here for sure. And maybe a red. Move that one aside. I'm just laying them out, you guys. I'm laying them out. We know the greys there. So, and we'll put this blue back under here so we can see a bit of it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so maybe the purple for 12. I mean, I'll have to do some dyeing because I want it all in the same base. So I'll have to do some dyeing to get these 2 colors. That purple looks blue there. That's wrong. It's definitely purple. It's purple. It's a great purple. Stupid camera. Sorry. The red's a good idea. I think that when you have them in a blanket and they aren't next to each other, they could be too similar. Which ones is that? Which one's too similar? The green and the yellow are green, red, and yellow are Christmassy. Well, they are a little Christmassy. The red's a good idea. I want to double check some colors. So as I'm washing these, I'm so terrified. Like I exhaust out all my colors when I dye. So there is no dye left in the pot. So there shouldn't be any dye to wash out. But I'm still paranoid because you've got to wash them with cream. So these have both been washed and blocked before I did the edges to double check. But I'm particularly paranoid about red. So The red I would definitely want to check, and a couple of others, but yeah. What about a Barton type of purple? I think you're right, Kim. I definitely think a Barton type of purple. That's, you'd have to check the website, but it's a really popping, bright purpley color with lots of dashes of blue and pink through it. All the blues are too similar. On this camera, they're too similar. I'll take a photo and show you later, but like when I'm looking at them, they all look nothing alike. Yeah, so, hang on, I've just got to write Barton down. Kim says, I'd swap out the brown. So is it the coffee or the wildwoods? And then add the orange. So I'm going to swap out the wildwoods for now, and you can tell me if that's the one you meant. We're just going to leave that purpley one there for now, just so we can see. Good, but purple between... Oh, no, this is just to get the colours. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to lay them out yet. I just need to stitch them first. So grey is my background. Yes, so the grey is this background colour, but there'll also be another border of the main colour. So you do the grey into a square, and then you do a whole nother border of your main colour. So it looks really sweet. Reddish purples. Or a purpley red. If you hold them next to each other, you can see the differences, but if you have them with the grey between, you don't see the differences anymore with the blues. Honestly, they're totally different. Do you know what I mean? Like, these two look so similar on the camera, but in reality, they're totally different colours. They're like, you can have them next to each other or separate from each other, and they're totally different. Anyway, you know what I mean. Lindsay loves the orange, and the orange is definitely growing on me. The orange and the green are definitely giving it a bit of, and this lighter green are definitely giving it a bit of like, so we're getting some pop here. I'm going to grab a photo. Camera. Otherwise I'll forget. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this photo. Hang on. Just make it a bit bigger. Alright. So, because this is actually quite, it's actually done really well for color, except for the lake. The lake's still wrong. I'm going to post this over on Instagram right now, you guys. So if you're on Insta, check your phones. I'll pop it up in my Insta story. Oh, hang on. I'll try to pop it in my Insta story, but it seems that I'm disabled today. There we go. Colors for my blanket. There you go. So go and check the Insta story. It's up. Oops, I want that on because it's how I tell if this stream is working. Back to the YouTubes. So many things open on here. Let's fix that. Back to the YouTubes. There we go. Alright, I'll stop playing with my phone. So the photo is up on Instagram. Most of the colours look more realistic. This one's still a little off. It's still a little off even on that. So, yeah. Do the inner squares sit as diamonds when they're joined together? I believe so. I believe they do, because what I'm doing next is I need some space. Okay, so what I'm doing is I add these four corners, and so your straight line is there. Your straight line's not here, so I think it does stay as a diamond. Am I right? Every picture I've seen of the finished blankets, I think everyone's got diamonds. Could be wrong. The other thing is some people are stopping here and then stitching their squares together like that, and that's what they're doing. But I want to do that. So Kim's asking, yes, the flower part is a diamond, then the grey turns it into a square, and then that's right, there's another border of your main colour in here around the edge of it to make it all pop. Loving the photo on Insta. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. See what I mean by these cameras do not do our colours justice? And I've put this back wrong so it won't stand up now. Let's try again. Yay for standing uppy things. So yeah, so one of the things I really love about this pattern, gosh, anyone would think I designed this the way I'm swooning about it. It does keep your interest. It is so far for me, because I've only done the 2 squares and these are my first corners. For me it's not a travel project yet, because I still need to go and like keep looking at the instructions. I got a lot better. I didn't have to watch the video to make this one. I just had the written instructions in front of me. And I think by the time I do all 4 squares of this, the written instructions will get me through as well. And so by the time I move on to more and more and more, it'll be much easier, and it'll just have little reminders of what happens. Lindsay says, I love the photo. I wouldn't change a thing. Love the photo on Insta. Could see the colors even better. The colors look great on Insta. Yeah. See, these cameras, they're not the greatest for the colors. They're really not. And I do feel bad about that. I don't really know what, I mean, this is a pretty good camera. So I think it's my settings screwing it up. I think it's me rather than the hardware. Joss says you can check out my Insta for a picture of the full square. Absolutely. Joss has done tons, and so is it Joe Mackey, Jomaki? Is that your Insta handle, Joss? Is that right? I can't remember, but yeah, definitely check out Joss, because her squares are what inspired me to do this. Like, I've been eyeing off people's work for a while now. This pattern is not new, it's an older pattern, but I'm just loving it, honestly. And I love that you can pick all these different little pops of color, but once I know how much of each weight that we need, so what I'll probably do is I will, because I've been weighing all the balls and measuring them and stuff. I've got copious amounts of notes inside, but what I'll do is I'll probably math out how much of the main contrast colors you need, because I'm not going to make the entire blanket before I start giving you guys the information. So what I'll do is I'll start mathing it out, but I'll know like how much of, say, the blur pool that we use, so you know, and of these main colors. And so, like, I'm really thinking you'll probably be able to get away with 50 grams for 2 minis of the contrast color, or main colors. I think of them as main colors. I don't know why. I think it's because they're color 1 in my brain. Color 1, color 2, color 1, color 2. You keep swapping. Because this is what the back looks like, you guys. Even the back looks amazing. Like, look at that. Oh yeah, Joss, I wove in the ends. I've been terrorizing poor Joss with like, Joss, am I doing it right? What do you think, Joss? Is this okay? But yeah, so I've been terrorizing Joss. But yeah, when I first had to go at this, I botched it so bad, and I was so glad I hadn't woven in the ends. But what I did was, before I washed and blocked it, I wove all the ends in to make sure that everything was out of the way. But even the back just looks really interesting. I mean, this is beautiful, and this is really interesting. So yeah. Leanne says that Joss's full ones are awesome. Absolutely they are. Kim says, I think it's not a travel project at any point. Joss travels with it, you guys. Joss travels with this project. Black Pearl Knit says, I'm so keen to try and make this blanket now too. I can't wait to get home and go stash diving and colour matching. Absolutely, absolutely. So the pattern has got really good weights for sport weight. I'm sure someone else has probably done it in a 4-ply online, so you could probably have a look, but I'm measuring it out using the Pegasus. So where are we? Andrew loves the ones that Joss has done before. It's just beautiful. Oh, it really is, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's very confusing, Kim, like how she does refer to all the colours. So that's why I have my own way in my own brain, so I'm not going to read that because you will confuse me. You'll totally confuse me. Joss says, yes, it's good to weave the ends in once you go. So I would recommend make your first square, possibly don't weave your ends until you're happy. Then after that, that's what I did with this one. At the end of each section, like, you know, you do a row with the cream and then you change to blue, I'd weave the ends in. So, yeah, so that's what I do now. I weave them in as I go, but my first one, I'm so relieved I did not, honestly, because did not read the patterns properly, and I botched up the turning them into points thing. I turned them into points, but they look more like little daggers rather than petals. So yeah. Sorry, guys. If I didn't have so many UFOs, I would so love to do it. Absolutely. I've got so many UFOs. But I made sure I finished the red one, my cow, before I started this. And now it's like, I got up at 4 in the morning, so I started doing the grey sections. So I did those. I actually wound this cake this morning as well. So I wound the yarn on my little dodgy ball winder that I've got in the house. Look at that. How dodgy is that? Anyway, it'll hold together long enough. I should totally make a ball basket for it. You know, they're really cute little cozies. I've got enough of some dodgy. That's what I should totally do. Quickly make that up. Not right this second, but I'll get that done because otherwise this will, although I am going from the outside, so that would get annoying. Maybe not. I was just reminded, where do we find the inspo page to post pics for the colours? So Kirby, what you do is on Instagram, you post your photo, and when you post your photo, in the hashtag, put hashtag Fiberific Inspo, and then they all come up in my feed. So it's not a separate place, it's just your feed on Insta. And then when I search, which I can probably show you under this top-down camera. So when I search on Instagram for, you can search, so I search for my hashtags, search for tags, and then I go Fiberific Inspo, there it is. I can see all the posts that everyone's put in for Fiberific Inspo for the colours. Also the posts that I make showing the colours, but yeah. So then we can go through and I can choose which ones of these we're gonna do. So you just need to make sure that Fiberific Inspo is in your thing. And now because I've touched my phone again, it's going to be all like, oh, you're not watching this anymore, so I have to press play again. Hopefully I don't get an ad. That would be annoying. Okay, you could enter the cowl into the finish line. I totally could. It's actually, I've got to weave the ends in first because that's the rules. It's got to be ends woven in. Sally says that she has to finish a test pattern before she can continue working on her UFOs. That's because of your cold black heart. What's because of my cold black heart? Don't skip the ads. Oh, I totally skipped the ads. Have I froze? Oh no, I hadn't moved my head. I was reading. My tea's cold. Oh. Luckily, I make another thing in this tea thermos of my beautiful licorice legs tea that we got from T2, so I can top up the cold tea with the steaming hot mouth killer tea. When's the next finish along? That was fun. I don't know. I mean, it's just open now, so you can put stuff in there whenever you want. But I don't have any more prizes yet. I've still got to keep posting out the prize I did. Not cold. Way better when it's not cold. Leanne has no UFOs, so she's looking for a larger project. I've got a shawl going, but like a quick and longer project to swap about. I would recommend the cowl for that, Leanne, rather than this. I don't know if this, I would consider this a quick project. I've not been feeling very good lately, like with my breathing and stuff, so I've been having to sort of do a little less than I normally do, so I've had a bit more crochet time than I would usually have. Sorry, I'm just breathing. So yeah, so I've managed to get these done. I did that one yesterday, and I did the first run of this the day before yesterday, maybe, or the day before that, and then finished that off and then started this one. But I really love it. Like, the hash is so clever. Honestly, so clever. I could never, I'm not a designer, so whenever I look at this, and I know why I'm not a designer. I'm not a designer because this part of the thinking, it doesn't work for me. So it is really, yeah, it really, I like working with patterns, and I like to be able to visualize the end project. I like to be able to visualize in different colors, which I can do all of that. And then but I can't, I really struggle. Like, I've designed a couple of little things, but I've not designed anything on this kind of scale, like, at all. Andrea is now officially a year behind with her MLCs. Wow, Andrea, that's so good. Excuse me. Nature's Craft has caved and bought a diamond painting kit. Is that one of those things where you got to place the little sparkly things in the little squares? Because if that's what you're talking about, I've got one of those that I bought at a craft show that me and Abby were going to do, but we've never done. So yeah. I know those feelings. We have quite a dust storm in South Australia last week, and I was on the edge of an asthma attack when I had to pick the kids up from school. Isn't that, like, seriously, like, there's a lot of people in here with asthma by the sounds of. So I feel like lots of you understand when it's hard to breathe, and you've just got to step back and you have to have a look at things. I'm due to go to the doctors and get some stuff sorted out and checked and things. So yeah, but it's not a nice feeling at all. It's scary. It is scary. Kim says, I don't like the testing and having to grade for sizes when I make something and everyone tells me I should write the pattern out. Yeah, because it's not just a case of writing the pattern out, is it? Like, maybe for something like a blanket, probably a little bit more so. I mean, still, you've got to test it and you've got to, go through all the mistakes to make something this amazing. But when it comes to garments, you can't just put out a pattern in 1 or 2 sizes. People want, like, the spectrum. They want from, like, 3-month-old to bigger than me. So, and that's the thing. Like, I've got a lot of people asking me about the little white top, and I have that in 1 size. I have no intention of grading that pattern, which is why I'm not charging for it. So, Nature's Crafts, you shouldn't be using expired inhalers. You need to go and get another one. Sally says, I don't have asthma, but my hubby has, and it's quite scary watching him when he can't breathe. Yeah, it's just a bit terrifying. And even, Kim's saying here, and even when you make it free, every man and their dog feels the need to pick it apart and complain and want you to change things. Look, I do remember one time, a very long time ago, when I was a beginner crocheter, and I did something which probably now I would be all like, tut tut, never do that. But I actually emailed the designer and I said, look, I love your design and I really want to make it, but I have a really big problem, which is my arms, and I don't know how to adjust to make it bigger. Can you tell me what I would need to do? And I was like, I wasn't like all demandy or anything like that. And I explained to them that it was me, not their pattern. But even still now, I wouldn't do that. I would, if I couldn't work it out for myself, I would not contact a designer and go, hey, how do I grade this up for myself? I wouldn't do it. Because I know how frustrating those emails are now, but back then I did not. But this particular designer was fantastic and came back with like how to do it with little sketches. She was phenomenal. But I was, it was a thing, and I probably wouldn't do it now. Nature's, Bub Karen is on the toe of her Mystery Lace Club socks. It's all in the way you ask. I think you're right, Kim. I think it is. And because I was very clear that it was not her pattern at all, it was me and my skill level, which, she's so kind and nice. She really was. What was I going to say? I was reading something and it reminded me of something else. Oh, excuse me. And now I can't remember what I was going to say. I'm going to put some wildwood here just for a change of scenery down the bottom. I can't remember what I was going to say. I really can't. So yeah, it is. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So no, it wasn't asthma related. It wasn't. I was thinking about the Zoom chats. So for those of you here that are Patreon members, I know not everybody is. Honestly, I really do. And I don't expect everyone to become one. But over on Patreon, I put a comment up saying, I've been dropping the ball with Patreon. I want to make it up to some of you by having a live chat, which is like a two-way thing, which is normally I've got open for like the higher levels, which we don't have any, which is totally fine. But I was thinking maybe we could do it as a special thing for those of us that are here. So in Zoom, it is a software that you install, and it makes it like a meeting room. And now the individuals can decide whether they're on camera or not, or if it's just their audio. There's a button that you can click when you're starting your chat, and you can change your mind through if you want, and you can make it video. But what it is it's basically like on my screen, I see everybody and everybody can talk. So we can have an actual conversation with faces, or not faces if you prefer. But you don't have to type it out. It's not a type thing, it's a talk thing. So Sally said, I was meant to reply to the email, but I haven't yet. I think Zoom chat would be awesome. Like a conference chat. That's exactly right, Christine. Zoom is a really good conferencing software, and I've got it. And so it's free for anybody that, anyone that's going to be involved in a Zoom chat. They don't have to pay for the software, because whoever runs the conference needs to pay for it. Does that make sense? So there are free versions available, but I've got a paid one, so we can go longer than their free ones go for. Chintamani says it sounds interesting. Hi Daigo. So I think it would be something fun to do. You don't need to have Skype or anything like that. You need to, if you're a Fibrific Patreon member, we'll work out a time soon. If you're a Fibrific Patreon member, and that's right, Kim's saying there's apps for devices as well. You don't need to be on a computer. You can totally do it on a phone. I've done it on a phone plenty of times. I use Zoom myself at least 3 times a week. I've got various different chats and mentor groups and things like that I'm a part of. Everybody's using Zoom, so it's very easy to use Zoom. We've used Zoom at work, and it was great. That's right, Jackie, it is. It's really good. But it is like a group Skype type thing where you've got everyone's faces, and you can, give yourself nicknames so your name appears up and it's cheeky or not. I've never done that. No. It's wine time. I've never had that as my Zoom username before. Is Zoom Mac compatible? Yes, it is. I believe it is. Daigo was having dinner and almost missed. Oh no, Daigo, that's terrible, but I'm glad you made it. If I can Zoom, you all can. That's right, Leanne. That's exactly right. It's so easy. If you can use a messaging app on your phone, you can Zoom. So it's a really great, stable piece of software. I'm going to move that, and now I'm going to add Joss. This is the Joss colorway, everybody. I love this colorway. It's going to be the next one after the green one that I use. Which there was something I had to write down that I stole a skein at TIFF out of my stock, so I've got to reduce the stock of TIFF mini. May have to steal another one yet. But yeah, so those of you that were wondering what Zoom was in the chat, then that's what Zoom is. In the Patreon chat, that is. So we'll sort out a day. It'll probably be coming up in the next week or so. Depending on how we go, we might even run a couple for a few different time zones. So that, those of you that are on different time zones, if you can't make whatever the first time is, you might be able to make the second time. So, something a bit different. But anyway, that's for Patreon members. So I just wanted to throw that in there because it was something that had been playing on my mind. I saw a couple of questions about Zoom in the Patreon chat, and I was just like, oh, how do I describe Patreon? No, how do I describe Zoom? So that could be a bit of fun for those that are here. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, I'm really struggling a little bit today with the breathing, and the chest is a bit tight. So yeah, so where am I up to with this? So I've just done the bobble row, and I'm up to another. I probably should dig out the pattern before I keep going, shouldn't I? If you Zoom me during the school holidays, you'll get my kids as well. Look, the reality is, I'm surprised we don't already have Abby because it's school holidays. Hi, Annie. How are you going? I think if you're talking about me, you may have had your autocorrect change some spelling, maybe. Mm. Let me have a look here. Let me have a look. Just scrolling through the chat to double check I haven't missed any questions. Any other questions? No, that's right. You're right, Kim. Abby's still running around in her pajamas, and we do have some rules about pajamas and live streams. Yeah, I'm fine, Annie. I mean, asthma's playing up, but I'm fine. Um, she could be talking about your blanket skirt. She could be talking about how I terrified her at 4 a.m. this morning and scared the absolute life out of her because she's been hanging out in the lounge room and I was in the dining room, which, if you knew it, we have got this like T-shaped house, and the lounge and the dining are both part of the leg of the T. And she's woken up just to see the Swift moving around, slowly squeaking like oot, oot. I did stop it from making noise once, like it made two noises and I stopped it from making noise. But yeah, so that was. Oh, you're talking about the Charlotte squares. Oh my gosh, you're totally right. Sorry, Annie. Yes. I'm loving these. I'm not sure if you've been here for the whole chat, but I have been waxing lyrical about how much I love this pattern and how pretty it is and how inspired and I know it's not a new pattern. I know it's not a new pattern. But I'm working out how much of my Pegasus yarn we'd need to make it. So, like, because I don't know, I reckon it's definitely going to take at least one mini to make a square, like the main, this contrasty color. I don't know. I think it'll take up at least one mini once you get the outside, but I don't know if it'd take two. Where are we? Time for bed. Bye, Chris Bragg. Have a great night. Oh, many DCs in your bobble. I'm doing 4 to follow a pattern. I think they look too flat. That's why I'm asking. Yours looks so nice and perky. These ones are treble bobbles. Not trebles, so yeah, US trebles. So these are 5 US trebles in these bobbles. So or double trebles in Australian. So does that make sense? But yes, I agree. They do. They look so perky. I love them. I think they look fantastic. And they're a bit of fun to make too. And you're right, Leanne. Sometimes some designers don't put enough in their bobbles to make them perky enough. And they do end up a bit more of a pattern difference rather than a textural difference. Did that make sense? So yarn over twice before insert the hook. That's right. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Excuse me. Sorry. I keep clearing my throat, guys. I'm sorry about that. But it's like it feels like it's blocking my breathing. It's not, but it feels like it is. They need more support to be perky, like so many things in this world, Kim. So many things. We won't go there though. We'd get demonetized. Did you guys know that last week's live chat got deemed unsuitable to most advertisers, and I had to go in and put in a manual request to be reviewed to YouTube to say, are you kidding me right now? And the thing is, though, you can put that manual request in, but they don't normally do it until your video has had 1,000 views. So I thought, that one's never going to, these live chats, they don't get 1,000 views. It's not what we're about. We're about this group here and a few others. We don't get the big, like, we're not like you know, Rhett and Link, when they go live, they have 1 million people in the live. You can't read the chat. Someone's ringing. Not answering. So yeah, so it is, you know, you can't read the live chat at all. So, Kim, what flagged me? I have no idea. I have literally zero idea. I've checked everything before I requested the review. But I don't know what's going on in YouTube review land, but someone manually reviewed the video and actually said that it was fine. So it's been put back to be fine for advertising again, but I have no idea what flagged the review. No idea. Was it inappropriate? I don't believe we said anything inappropriate. I don't believe there are any inappropriate comments. I don't know. You know, I mean, we do talk about spinning, and some of the terms that we use may seem a little weird if you don't have the context. And so sometimes that might concern people. But otherwise, I can't think of what it was. Maybe it's because we keep trying to get T2 sponsorship law. I can't imagine that would be an issue, because you're allowed to have sponsorship. You're allowed. T2 would really like sponsorship. Monitors, I don't know. Yeah, look, I honestly don't think it's anything we did. I just think every now and again things get flagged in the system just to test the system. So whoever that was that rang me left a message, so we'll be seeing what that was about. But yeah, Kim says, I feel like I need to watch it now to try and work it out. The reality of it is, Kim, it could have been nothing. And that's what's frustrating. What is the pink next to the TIFF called? This pink here, it's called Joss. But before you get too excited, it's not quite as bright as it is there. It's a little bit more pastel-y. It's a good pink, but it's not quite as hot pink as that one. I've got a hot pink Candy Crush, I think it's called. It's a sunflower base. It's a one of a kind in that kind of hot pink, but that's it. This is Joss. But yeah, on this camera, it's, I don't know, it's doing everything weird. It's making that too dark, making this too dark, but then it makes the blues weird. Do you know what I've probably done? See, even the other camera doesn't do that pink properly. Check the website. The photos on the website are probably more accurate. I would assume they're more accurate. Like that time you got a community strike. Exactly right. So for those of you who don't know, if, what would it have been? 2 years ago? A year and a half ago? I was about to go live. I hadn't even gone live. I was setting up the live. So in the back end of YouTube, you've got to put some stuff in. And I got a community strike on a video I was setting up that hadn't even gone live. Now, what a community strike does means that I couldn't go live for 90 days, which was the punishment at that stage. It's changed now. And so I'm trying to work out what on earth I'd typed into what this live was going to be for me to get this community strike. Now, they're just not very forthcoming with that information. You just about never find out. I just was like, I requested a review because I didn't believe I'd done anything wrong. And within, what was it, about a week or 2 weeks, it was just gone. The community strike was gone. I didn't receive an email to say it was going, nothing. It was just gone, and I could live stream again. So it was really unusual. Yeah, and I agree, Marion. Some people have no problems with like language or anything that they say or topics that they choose to talk about, and then other people get hit. It's very random. It's very, very random. Black Pearl Knit said we should all re-watch it together again. Okay, that's fine, because that would be great, because, you know, then it might, I don't know, I might get paid for some views, maybe. If you love Chantel's, hey, well, that just felt staged. If you love Chantel's mug, here's the link. That's right. And if you're in the US, the shipping is better than what we get in Australia because they're coming out of the US. It's terrible, isn't it? Maybe you have a troll who reports you. It's not me. Oh, wow, Marion. That was very quick to defend yourself. No, look, it could be. It could well be someone reported the video. I wouldn't know. But it really could just be that the algorithm just incorrectly picked it, because it does have that. You can see Joss if you select it from the drop-down box. Oh, thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. Facebook watch parties only work with Facebook videos, not YouTube ones. That's exactly right. And once a live has already been done, I don't think we can run a premiere on it. I don't think we can. I think you can upload a video, then do the premiere. I mean, like, the reality is, if you guys really, really wanted to have a watch party together, what you could do is you could set up a group chat somewhere, so either Facebook or whatever, and then all sit there and press play at the same time. You know, like, get through the ad, press pause, and then wait for everyone to be ready, and then go play, and all play at the same time. That could be, you know, that could work, sort of, possibly. So yeah, I don't think I can either. Even though I own the content, I'm not actually sure I can stream it even on, say, somewhere like Twitch, without Twitch coming down on it for copyright, without me having to explain that it's my video that I'm sharing. That would be fun to test, though, to see if we could do that, wouldn't it? We could all, like, I could just actually run the video playing through Twitch, from YouTube to Twitch, and then just sit in the chat and just chat. That would be fun. I don't know if it's possible. I honestly don't know. Even though the content is all mine and I own the copyright on everything. Until someone skips ahead because they want to do spoilers. Of course, Kim. Of course. Until someone skips ahead. Then it's ruined. The whole plan is ruined by that person. But yeah, so I didn't actually plan a lot to talk about today, guys, because I honestly didn't know if I was going to make it through a whole live stream. But we're doing really well, and my tea is helping to keep the breathing going. I am struggling to concentrate a little bit, so I am sorry if I'm a little bit spacey, just, you know, with how things are going. Jackie Doyle is asking Kim if she's speaking from experience. It possibly, like a Zoom chat with us watching YouTube. Christine, we could totally do it that way. We could absolutely 100% do it on Zoom. Alright, you guys, we're going to try this. Not today, but we're going to sort out a day or a night when we can at least test it out and maybe plan to watch the first few minutes to see if we can make it work. I would need to download the video so that I'm not downloading and uploading at the same. I'll have a think about it and we'll see what we can do. I don't know if I can download a live stream from YouTube, even though it's mine. Beautiful flower block, so delicate. Thank you, Bernice. We've been having fun picking my next colors and things like that. So I'm having a good time with this pattern. I'm having a really good time with this pattern. Rebecca says there's 17 minutes left. Thank you, Rebecca. Kirby says, I'm still working on my dot blanket thing. Awesome. That's awesome. What are you all working on? Let me know here in the chat, and I can have a read while I drink some more of my beautiful licorice legs tea. I gave my dad some, right? Because he was here the other day. He's been popping in about once a fortnight to catch up on Star Trek. Post the link on Instagram. The link for what, Odd But Nice? Just out of curiosity. Oh, okay. If we end up doing the Zoom thing, yeah, for sure. I'll post it. I'll post it somewhere. Odd But Nice. Are you in the Fiberific Fun Zone on Facebook? Because of your username, I don't know if you are able to. I don't know your actual name, and that's totally fine. Bernice is recommending a nice peach. Never thought of a peach. I'll have a think. I don't know if I've got any peaches, but I'll have a dig because that actually sounds really nice. Sally is untangling yarn. Annie is doing the Ross Poldark blanket. Northeasterly blankets, Sunday shawls. Rebecca Nelson, whichever project you want to share with us. Odd But Nice has finally got her pattern test. Unusually Awesome's working on 2 at a time toe-up socks. Christine's trying to knit some fingerless gloves, but my 3-year-old keeps wanting cuddles. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible when kids want cuddles. Where are we? Lindsay's weaving in ends. Oh, is that why you were wondering if there were people who weave ends in for other people? Kim's eating cake. Good job, Kim. Hey, 2 Arctic Wolves. Welcome to the chat. Jackie is doing her December Mystery Lace Club, so you are having some fun with this watermelon pink mohair blend as well. Daigo is making some sample squares to show her first class. Good job. Oh, I just saw that come through. Odd But Nice. I will accept that once we've finished here. Stacey's working on an arrowhead lace cardigan. Yeah, 140 ends to go. How many did you have to start with, Lindsay? That's a lot of ends. I mean, there's a lot of ends in this. Like, I will not lie to you. There are a lot of ends for this little square because you change colours, like, all the time. Changing backwards and forwards. But, yeah, definitely weave them in as you go. Once you're confident with your square making abilities, as she says with 2 squares in her hands. And, oh, the other thing I love is it's puffy. It's a little bit, it's got, like, dimension. It's going to look schmick all laid out. It's going to look so good. I'm so excited. Sally says the yarn's untangled. Now to continue on with this pattern test. Rebecca is working on a cowl, 2 shawls, a cape, a pair of socks, and slippers. Ross does too, but I do each section as I go. I think I missed something there. Katie says I finished a crochet hook case, but somehow the pockets turned out super slightly crooked and I can see it, but others can't. Oh no, that's frustrating. Hey Desiree, welcome to the chat. Lindsay says I think it was 280 to start with. Oh man, that's terrible. Ah, texture. Okay. Oh, okay, yes, now I understand. Your project has lots of ends. Thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. My brain's not quite on its A game at the moment. Kim got a balance cushion to sit on. I think I need to make a cover for it. Would that not affect how it works? Maybe? Squish, squish. Sorry, I'm really loving these. Desiree's working on a shag jacket. Oh, wow. That sounds full on. I'm just writing it down because I'm going to go and find a picture. Not right this second. After the stream. The stream's only got about 10 more minutes left to go. Oh, goodness me. So, what do you guys reckon? Do you reckon if we're able, like if I'm allowed to put kits together, do you think I should? Because, I mean, I'm a bit, what do you call that when you got blinkers on and you're like totally focused on a thing and you're like, yeah, this is going to be great. But then target fixation, that's the words I'm thinking for. Target fixation. But then you can't see everything around you to, you can't see everything around you to, you can't, there's another saying, was it you can't see the forest for the trees. Tunnel vision, that's it. Pam did a special workshop at Bornhofen, Tunisian crochet in the round. That's a fun one. It's like a big whoopee cushion, I think, because of the air inside. A cover won't make any difference except that little nodules won't poke me so much. That's a good point. That's a good point. So yeah, so do you think if we get it all sorted and we can make little kits like that are a bit more, because look, the reality is hand-dyed yarn, it's expensive. And I would not normally consider making a blanket in hand-dyed yarn. I would just be like, no, I'm out. I only have so many dollars in my pocket. But if I'm able to make, like, you know, like a blanket, it's not going to be enormous because what is it? It's 12 of these squares. So 12 squares will end up being, I mean, it'll be big enough. It'll be a throw sort of thing. And I'm thinking, like, I was having a look at the meterage and I would need, like, probably 3 balls of grey, 3 balls of cream, and then, excuse me, depending on what we need. And I would measure these to make enough. So it is definitely, you wouldn't have to buy 100 grams if you only need 50. Do you know what I mean? Near rug size, possibly, Pam, possibly. So I would definitely be like working out what we actually need, and I wouldn't be like, well, you have to buy like 100 grams of pink and then only use a third of it or something. I wouldn't do that. That's the point of, the reason I make kits is so we can just get what we need and we don't have everything else. We don't have ends of skeins that we don't need. Unless it, you know, unless I can price it in such a way that a little bit extra is not going to hurt anybody. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Chris Bragg is asking for the Fibrific webpage to order yarn. Oh, thank you, Kim. You'd have to allow for tension differences. Yep, you would, for sure. But in saying that, there's a gauge. So, you know, I would make some allowances, but I wouldn't allow like 100 grams of yarn if I only used 50. Does that make sense? I would give the gauge of what because I'm using, what am I using? A 3mm hook. I'm using a 3mm hook and the sock yarn, and this is the tension that I got. I would definitely make sure there's enough there to just a bit of difference, but not if you're wildly different. Does that make sense? Linda is so late. Yes, you are, Linda. You've missed everything. All the things, Linda. All the things. Plus minus 10%. Yeah, that's plus minus 10% would be good. I think you're right there, Kim. But yeah, not plus minus 50% or something like that. That would not work for me. Also, I'd feel like a waste, especially if people got my gauge. I'd have like 50% more yarn, so not enough to do anything with. I'm just teasing you, Linda. It's all good. You're all good. Let me have a look. But yeah, I don't know. I think like once we settle on some colors, like I really like the photo that we put up onto the Instagram just before. I think that's, are you posting the Mystery Lace Club after Easter? I am, yes, and I will send out an email to let everybody know. Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, we're going to be doing stuff as a family for Easter, so I won't even be here to finish some things off that need to be done. And he says it wouldn't be that drastic of a difference as long as we work to gauge regardless of tension. Exactly right, Annie. You're right. And you do, the gauge is based off the first square. So as long as you work your first square, and, you know, I got 18 centimeters or 17.5 centimeters or whatever it was, I'll measure it again. And I got the same for both. So yeah, you're right. As long as people are doing their gauge measurements, and I would make it very clear that the yarn quantities are for this approximate gauge. So if your gauge is like way off, like if your squares are coming out more like say 20 centimeters, you might run out of yarn. Anyway, we'll see. If you got it ready early, I could pick it up at Crafters. Well, that's not going to happen, Kim. I'm sorry, my lovely. It's not going to be ready early. There's no chance. I've got special yarn and it's still on its way. I haven't received it yet. So we've got special yarn. I'm pretty excited about the special yarn, actually. Is it wool? Is this yarn here wool? Yes. It is a wool nylon blend. It's a sock blend. It's called Pegasus. It is, what is it? It's 75%, 20.5 micron merino with 25% wool, 25% nylon. It's unmuled wool as well, which I love. It's got a bit of squish, it's got some strength, and it's got really nice stitch definition, which I'm loving. Yeah, I'm not at all biased by my own hand-dyed yarn. Not even a little bit. Yes, I am. Totally biased. Linda's allergic to wool. Oh, no, Linda, you're the same as Kim. Kim's allergic to wool too. But I mean, like, this pattern's a free pattern out there. You can make it with whatever you want. So yeah, it's one of those things. Nature's Crafts has had a bad phone call. Sorry, Nature's Craft. They happen sometimes. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. Like, so once I get off this live stream, and then I'm going to probably go inside and have some Ventolin or something equally as exciting, and then keep working on this, I think, is my goal for today. I've got some orders to post out this afternoon, so that's all I'm going to do. I've just got really, really sort of quiet afternoon planned because I have to, really. Nature's Craft is having a very bad day. Where would I find the pattern? Kim, would you mind tossing in a link for Linda Powell? This is the pattern for Charlotte's Dream. It's on Ravelry, and it's a free pattern. Go to her website. Make sure you're clicking the links to her website. Because it's one of those things, while the pattern's free, if a designer's website has some advertising around, especially if their pattern's free, I'd be like, each time I wouldn't print out the pattern, I'd just keep going back and hitting the website again so that they get double advertising from me. So, you know, but that's how my brain works. Like, I do that sort of stuff. So yeah, oh, thank you, Kim, for tossing that up there. It's from Dedri Uys. I've probably destroyed her name, so don't tell her that I keep destroying her name in this live stream. It would be disheartening. Also, she might, you know, look too closely at my work, and it's, you know, I am not the best at any of these things, and I do not proclaim to be. I just enjoy the journey, and that's what I like to talk about. I teach the way I do things, which is not necessarily always the way everybody else does things. And I get a few thumbs down for that, I've noticed. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that I enjoy it. Like, I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about yarn craft, and that's what I try to convey. I'm not the yarn police, I'm not the knitting police, I'm not the crochet police, but I definitely, I am the trifle police, however. There are rules about trifle, and you will not break them. So yeah, it's Sally says Linda Powell is the designer, but Dedri is the one who does the video. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. Hang on a second. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure. I thought that Dedri and Samantha designed this, and then another lady does the video. Is that right? I thought that's how it worked. I could be wrong. I don't know now. I know there's definitely a different lady who does the video. Nature's Craft. I understand you're horrified, Nature's Craft. It's all okay. The chat's here to you know, the chat's here to encourage and help you. It's all good. I won't just keep reading them out. That's all. Linda, I think you're right. I think she is talking to you. I was very confused for a second there, and you're totally right. It didn't do the little @ sign at the start, which is what I would normally. Yes. Where can we find the video? If you go to the pattern, there's links to the video from the pattern as well. Also, if you just jump into YouTube and just type in Charlotte's Dream in there, it comes up. Thank you, Kim. Dedri designed it, Jenny Lohman made it, and All in a Nutshell did the videos. I think, look, yeah, it's a huge. I'm on her webpage, but no. Okay, so what you need to do, if you're on her webpage, you go to scroll down a bit, and you'll see instructions for section 1. And when you click on that, it'll bring you to another webpage with all the listed out instructions, and then there's a link to the videos in there. I think that's right. Oops, someone's banging on my door. I think Abby's here. Yeah, I think that's how it worked. I can't remember off the top of my head. But otherwise, you can just Google into Google. You can just search in YouTube. Sorry, Snowy's losing her mind, and I just want to double check what it's about. So hang on a second, you guys. I'll be back in 1 second. Snowy, stop it. There's nobody here. That dog. That dog. I really got confused. I got confused. So confusing. Kim's got a link, you guys. Video links. Kim's got them right there. If you just search for Charlotte's Dream in YouTube, the right videos will come up, because that's what I was doing last night for this. I read Sophie's Dream. If you search for Charlotte's Dream, this will come up. If you search for Sophie's Dream, you'll get different instructions and be very confused. I'm very confused now. I'm very confused. And on that very confusing note, I think we're going to end today's live stream, you guys. I really want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's joined in. If you are over on Patreon, as a financial Patreon member, you'll be getting some messages in the next day or so while we work out these Zoom chats. If you want to become a financial member, you can check it all out. Patreon. If you go to Patreon and just search up Fibrific, I'll come up, or Kim may throw in a link if we're really, really lucky. I'm going to go and just do some jobs and then sit and relax and work on this. Oh, but no, you didn't cause a confusion. I'm confused. It's totally fine. I'm just my brain. It's my brain, you guys. It's not working. I will catch you all next Thursday, and I hope that you all have fantastic weeks and weekends coming up and have heaps of time to do the things that you love with the people that you love. I'll catch you next time. Bye.